ready to set off for Western Uganda at around 7 am. It is a 12-hour round trip to Kasese. However, the journey can take for as long as you'd like. Once we left the organized chaos of Kampala, I reached out for my camera and I started to enjoy the countryside. After 1 hour and 15 minutes, we came across Mityana town, which has this iconic church by the roadside. It is a vibrant town with agriculture as the main economic activity in the surrounding villages. After a few hours on the road, our driver thought it was wise to stop for a toilet break, and Route 45 Gumbuzi was a perfect spot with decent facilities. One can appreciate the effects of COVID-19 on the local economy. We chatted with the proprietors who were positive, and they assured us that they are back on their feet. Back on the road, Lake Wamala was in the distance to the left, where the eyes meet the horizon. This part of the road is still under construction, or should I say repairs, which means slow speeds, bumpy roads, and loss of brown hair, if you catch my drift. As we approached Nyanza Town Trading Center, we noticed stopping taxis at Nyanza Town offered opportunities for locals to sell their produce to passengers plying the Mubende route. My guess would be that this is a big boost to the local economy. Also came across a few timber factories to our left. Upcountry roads are not exempted from road traffic accidents. Unfortunately, the accidents are a normal occurrence. One has to be extra careful, as many drivers and users are reckless. Charcoal bags are displayed along the road, and these are sold at favorable prices to any passerby. In this part of the country, tarmac sections on the road are infrequent, as is being replaced. Mubende town was buzzing with activity, full of human excitement. We had a stopover and we stocked up on a few supplies, which included snacks and drinks, as we were bracing for the journey ahead. It was interesting seeing the western part of the country come to life again. Now then, back to my seat, watching the numerous eucalyptus tree farms along the roadside, which supplement the locals' income. Watching the rolling hills of Western Uganda behind the car screen was breathtaking. The roads got better as we drove further to the western part of the country, and the population also dwindled. It was a treat to enjoy the sparsely populated countryside. Western Uganda has gorgeous tea plantations which are scenic and offer agro-tourism. Apart from Uganda being known for its national parks and wildlife, agro-tourism is a growing business as well. Uganda's agro-tourism includes tea safaris, cotton tourism, coffee tours, and sugarcane plantation tours. As we were still admiring the picturesque tea plantations, we were welcomed by Kibale Forest. It was a lonely drive through the forest, but I guess it was that time of the day. After having missed a picture moment of the olive baboons in the forest, we decided to stop over and watch these guys who had taken over someone's front garden. They were running the show. Tea growing regions in Western Uganda include areas around Kibale National Park, Chenjojo, Mubende, and Kabarole. They are at a higher altitude, possess rich grey soils with graceful, elegant, and magnificent slopes. Before we knew it, we had arrived at Fort Portal, which is one of the cleanest towns in Uganda. It has well-maintained roads, painted road curbs, and spacious streets. It is an ideal place to come for a tour of the West with various tourist attractions. These include Sempaya Hot Springs, Amabere Caves, Bigoti Wetlands for bird watching, Kibale Forest National Park, Semliki National Park, Lake Kuruba Nature Reserve, Toro Botanical Gardens, and Crater Lake Tours. Driving towards the Amabere Caves, we came across these well-maintained banana plantations. The banana trees were huge and they looked loved. I must admit, these guys have mastered the art of growing bananas. We stopped over by the roadside to steal a glimpse of one of the famous schools in the West. Nyakashura School was established in 1926 by a Scotsman. it has produced a few high-profile politicians and business leaders in the country. To our distant right is the palace of the Omukama of Toro. Omukama is the name given to the king of Toro. The Toro kingdom was founded in 1830 by Omukama Kaboyo Olimi. Since then, the kingdom of Toro existed as an independent kingdom until 1967, when all kingdoms in Uganda were banned and reinstalled in 1993. Kasese town welcomed us in the night, and we were utterly exhausted after spending more than 10 hours in a metallic box on wheels. The town was kind of plunged into darkness, probably due to electricity rationing. The early morning haze brought a different vibe to the town, as it was vibrant, full of activity, and people getting on with the daily grind. Kasese town is the gateway to Rwenzori Mountain National Park and Queen Elizabeth National Park, and it is the largest town in the Rwenzori region. Driving away from Kasese towards Ishaka, we came across the T-junction to Pondwe. Pondwe is 38 miles southwest of Kasese and is the border town between Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. We headed towards the equator with its signpost to our left. Landmarks have been put down due to road repairs. This is the halfway point between the North and South Pole. The road towards Ishaka was paradise for wildlife devotees, as it was littered with wildlife. By the roadside, we came across this fallen member of the Big Five game. We were reliably informed that it had been dead probably within the last 2 days, a sign of its killers not being far from us. Back on the road, we passed by Katunguru, which is a famous site for boat trips on Kazinga Channel. Once again, as we drove south, we came across various herds of the famous and one of the most dangerous animals in sub-Saharan Africa, the African buffalo. Katunguru Ishaka Road, which is part of the Kasese Mbara Highway, had a plethora of wildlife. The place was stunningly gorgeous. Olive baboons were freely mingling with warthogs as well as the waterbucks. The best wildlife encounters we had on the road were along this stretch, and it was one of the trip's crowning moments. Olive baboons are none nocturnal and sleep in trees or cliffs at night to avoid nocturnal predators. During the day, they spend most of their time searching for food and socializing and are never far away from water. They have a very strict social hierarchy. Bird watching is never a far-off dream in Uganda. One has to just look at the nearest bush or tree and you'll be surprised on what you find. With Queen Elizabeth National Park in the background, we stopped at this roadside stall to pick up some honey and also support local businesses. We shared a few light moments with the locals as we haggled. Haggling in Uganda is part and parcel of life, and never pay for the asking price. Driving and touring Western Uganda was epic. The roads were amazingly smooth. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of potholes. Driving through the central region felt like playing the game, dodge the potholes. The landscape was gorgeous and beautiful. In some parts of the west, you were fortunate to come across the western arm of the Great Rift Valley. We briefly stopped over to admire the lush green forest and sniff its unpolluted fresh air. Before we came to Mbara city, we drove past another picturesque tea plantation. In order to catch up with lost time, we bypassed Mbara city, which is the second largest city in Uganda. Vehicle had had enough. After 3 days of constant abuse from the relentless bumps and humps on the Ugandan roads, we had a forced break. One had to make lemonade out of lemons. I stretched out for my camera and snapped the bushes. touring part of Western Uganda was awesome. It was time well spent, and I must admit, lots of places were not visited due to time constraint. I hope you enjoyed a glance of Western Uganda. Till next time.